There's been a number of promises President Trump made when he was running as a candidate. He has fulfilled a great many of those promises. One of those, of course, was this promise to acknowledge Jerusalem as the capital of the nation of Israel. And how do you see that factoring into the rebuilding of the temple? And I mean, from this perspective, Bill, I was there in Jerusalem not long ago and visited the Temple Institute. We were told by the tour guide there that they have all the materials ready in hand to rebuild the temple if they were just given permission or had the occasion to do so. So how close could we actually be to a third temple being rebuilt on Temple Mount?
Well, Gary, as you know from being there at the Temple Mount Institute, Chaim Richmond and the others, they've accumulated all the utensils and everything that they need for that construction of the temple. And I think at this point they're being very quiet about the red heifer. They had one a couple of years ago. They thought that would be the perfect red heifer, but it gained some gruesome white hairs, so that was disqualified. So the red heifer obviously is a key component too. Part of the problem putting a third temple there is you've got two mosques. You've got the Dome of the Rock and the Alaska Mosque that are on top of the Temple Mount. So obviously there's probably, as Hal Lindsey would say over the years, there is no more valuable, controversial, I'm paraphrasing a bit for what Hal said, but the 34 acres on the Temple Mount is the most substantial, most important, most prophetically important piece of land in the world. It is where as far as we know, our Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus, will reign from there. And obviously with the tension between the Western Wall, the original temples, and the fact you have those two mosques on top of that, is a rallying cry. Anytime, if the word got out right now that the Israelis want to put a third temple up there, this will hit the Arab street like you can't believe. And every time Abbas would start feeling like he was being left alone and not getting attention, he would raise the point that Israel's trying to take that land for their third temple, and it would be a spark throughout the Middle East and throughout the world. So those are all key factors. One point here, Gary, also that's important is President Trump said Israel's government offices are in Jerusalem. And all our capitals, all our embassies are in the capitals of the cities that participate in. Secondly, that's why we need to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So number one, acknowledging reality, and number two, saying we need to be consistent. And then he also emphasized that the Senate earlier in 2017 voted 90-0 in favor of having our embassy in the city of Jerusalem. So this is huge, and as Sam mentioned, Zechariah 12:3 and that whole Zechariah 12:3 area, 12:9, is very substantial and a very significant final day prophetic scripture.